Hello everyone. Before we get started, make sure to like and subscribe, and leave a comment saying where you're from and when you watched. That way, YouTube will continue to show you stories like this. Now, let's get started. Asterisk after my conversation. With Father Thomas, I knew that my only choice was to participate in the sealing ritual again. It was no longer a matter of wanting to, but a necessity if I wanted to end this nightmare. In the following days, I prepared everything I could: a candle, holy salt, a small silver knife, and most importantly, a few family mementos, representing the bloodline that had been cursed by him. That night, I returned to the abandoned church. Father Thomas, weak but still accompanied me, carrying an old, yellowed ritual book. He told me that when the circle was drawn, I was to stand in the center and not be allowed to step outside. He would do everything he could to frighten me, to shake me, but if I wavered, everything would end. We entered the small room behind the altar, where the sealing circle had been. Candles were lit, the flickering light reflecting off the cracked walls. I used the knife to lightly cut my hand, letting the blood drip onto the circle, connecting the ancient symbols. When the last drop of blood hit the tile floor, the atmosphere suddenly changed. The wind blew through the cracks in the door, and a hoarse laugh echoed everywhere. And then he appeared. A tall, thin figure slowly emerged from the darkness, his red eyes shining brightly. He stood outside the circle, looking at me with a look that was both contemptuous and amused. His voice rang out, as if tearing through space. "Do you think you can bind me again, Daniel? You belong to me." I trembled, but still tried to stand firmly within the circle. Father Thomas began to recite incantations in Latin, his voice trembling but gradually growing stronger. He laughed loudly, his laughter reverberating into every corner, making the candles flicker as if about to go out. I felt the thick darkness trying to creep into my mind, whispering words that made me doubt myself. For a moment, I saw the image of my grandfather appear before my eyes. He held out his hand, his eyes full of despair, begging me to step out of the circle to save him. My heart clenched, tears welled up. I was almost swept away by the illusion. But then I heard Father Thomas shouting, "Don't believe him, it's just an illusion." "Stand firm," I screamed, using all my strength to fight the terrifying hypnosis. I remembered the loss of my family, the innocent residents who had disappeared, the fear he had sown. All that pain turned into strength. I stabbed the silver knife into the tile floor, blood flowing into the circle. The symbols glowed red. He screamed, rushed towards the circle, but was stopped, his body trembling as if burned. His scream echoed, tearing the space apart. Blurry figures emerged from his body, dozens, hundreds of souls imprisoned for so long. They flew around the room, then gradually dissolved into the light, as if liberated. Father Thomas continued to chant, his voice growing louder, more forceful. I felt the circle vibrate, the light growing brighter. He writhed, his red eyes fading. He screamed one last time, "I will return, Daniel. You will never escape." Then his body shattered into black, drawn into the vortex of light, and disappeared completely. The room was quiet again. The candles burned steadily, the circle dimmed and then went out. I fell to my knees, sweat and blood mingling. Father Thomas leaned on his cane and approached, put his hand on my shoulder, his voice tired but sure. "You did it." I walked out of the church as dawn broke. The first light of day fell, and for the first time in weeks I felt like I could breathe peacefully. But deep down, I could still hear a distant whisper echoing somewhere. I didn't know if it was an illusion or a warning. Maybe I had one, or maybe he's just waiting for another chance to come back. Stay tuned for the next episode to continue hearing creepy horror stories from Reddit Mystery.